Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is the Grotti LSCM Cheetah Classic, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. We are back for more of the Money Fronts season of Will It Off-Road, and in fact, the video that you're watching right now will get us up to our 485th car that we've tested in Will It Off-Road. But more importantly, this is number 249 in the series, video number 249. And so that means our next one is a very special milestone, the big 250. And I would like to invite you to take part in a special event that we're going to be doing for that Will It Off-Road. Basically, the invitation is open to anyone who plays PC Enhanced and who is part of the Vainglorious Discord. Kind of standard. Anybody can always join Will It Off-Road if you qualify for those two things. But we're going to include everyone with a little bit extra for the 250th. Everybody who shows up will have the opportunity to help me introduce the video, which will be just a wonderfully, beautifully cacophonous noise of people saying hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, at exactly the same time. You will also, during the outro, get a chance to just state your name. And, you know, so like in my outro, and I'm like, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious. Be like, I'm Brandon, and we'll just keep going until everybody has said their name. Plus, once we get both vehicles up to the top of the mountain, which we are going to be testing the Dubachi Rapid GTX and the Ubermacht Sentinel GTS. Once we get each one up to the top of the mountain, for one of them, probably the first one, we'll do some fireworks, have everybody just like shoot fireworks off to where they're going off right behind my view of the car, just to the other side, kind of like shooting towards the skyline of the city. And then for the second one, we're going to try our best to orchestrate having a few jets fly over, looking like they're coming from the city. Kind of like coming from where Commander Herbo's Avenger is right now, and then coming like up at about the angle I'm at right now, so that they just fly right over the second car. Just to make it, you know, special, to commemorate the 250th Will It Off-Road. And I would love nothing more than to just pack as many people onto this mountain as possible. Like, I think our record is 8. I would love to double that. So I'm going to need you to show up. So if you play on PC, join the Vainglorious Discord and plan on joining us on Sunday, August 17th at 2 p.m. We are up to the top of Mount Chiliad, 2 minutes, 34 seconds. So, Will It Off-Road? Yes, and you know, I really couldn't have timed that better if I would have tried. Like, I wasn't like really paying attention to the timer while I was doing that whole intro. I know it was a long intro, but I'm really excited that Will It Off-Road has gotten to 250 videos, and it's just mind-boggling. You know, it started off as this thing where it was just a joke. It's like, you know, let's go drive a car off the mountain and make a video about it, or drive it up. It's just a really inappropriate car, and we did the Enos Cognoscenti. I think it was the big one, the longest one. And they were like, hey, let's see if it'll blow up when we drive it up the side once we get to the top. And that's where Will It Off-Road was born. And I'm like, you know what? I could turn this into a slightly serious, slightly tongue-in-cheek testing series. And then over the years, that morphed into it becoming also a community thing where we hang out and do this together. And we do have a lot of fun, but there were a lot of laughs had during the day's recording, because both the cars are kind of crap in their own way, but they both did really well at the same time. It's kind of funny. This one going down just wanted to bounce, and I thought I was going to fall off the mountain numerous times. In fact, there's a bit of calamity coming. But you can hear that whole behind the scenes thing in the supporters only version of Will It Off-Road, that it is conveniently called Behind the Scenes. By becoming a channel supporter, there's information down below, and you will definitely want to be able to hear the behind the scenes version of next week's if we get a really good turnout. So right here, kind of a bit of a bounce, and just couldn't get it back under control. Yeah, fell off. I do try to make my way back up, but it's just not. It just couldn't do it. So let's talk stats. We have tested, as of this video, 485 vehicles. This one comes in at 54th, so just outside of that top 10 what, like it's about 11.5%. It is, and this is strange the way the numbers split. It is 0.117 seconds slower than the Bravado Buffalo STX, and it is 0.117 seconds faster than the Bravado Buffalo EVX with HSW. So it's like a little buffalo sandwich there. I'm not sure how that would taste. I don't know. I've never had buffalo. I don't believe it's legal to serve buffalo anymore. In Sports Classics, out of 36, this is third. So up there in the top 10% on that. It is 2.717 seconds slower than the Uranus Laz speed and 3.983 seconds, so we may as well call it 4, faster than the Pegassi Toreador. As we come around this last little bend, another cool thing is happening with numbers. We're down in 2:34.24, which is exactly the same amount of time it took us to get to the top of the mountain. That has never happened before in the history of World Off-Road. We've had some be pretty balanced and close in those numbers. We've never had them be exact. And then to have the same car be the exact same split from the car that's faster and slower than it in the overall standing, just kind of weird. It would have been really cool if that would have happened in the 250th episode. But you know what? It's fine. It happened at 249. It's there. It's done. It's in the history books. In Money Fronts, we've now tested 8 vehicles by the end of this video. This one is currently sitting at, well, it's going to stay at 5th. It is 2.567 seconds slower than the Class C Walton L35 stock and 6.05 seconds faster than the Annis Minimus. So yeah, and it's definitely taken a beating. You know, these LSCM cars, I have mixed feelings about them. You know, one of the things I really enjoy about owning cars in GTA Online is getting to customize them, but you can't do any customization because they've been customized by somebody at the car meet. I don't know. I think, you know, they could have gone with a theme of the wide body and, you know, this ultra custom version of high-end cars and still given us choices instead of locking us into just one thing. You know, we could have make it so we couldn't have ever made it look like just another Cheetah Classic. Fine, I'm okay with that. But give us some choices, Rockstar. You know, let us go to the car meet and make our own unique version of it, other than getting the choice of taking a livery off or not. Sven was just bullying me back there. I hope you guys noticed that. He just wouldn't let my car go in a straight line. Even there, he's after me. Look, now he's after Hobo. Bully. And now he's after me again. Yeah, get out of here. Anyway, we are down in 1 minute 51, almost 52 seconds. Let's take a look at the damage on this version of the Cheetah Classic. All of the windows are busted out. The headlights will flip open, but no light comes out of them. So even a taillight out. The engine and the front covers are missing. Both of the bumpers are gone. The doors will not close, and the wheels are even more bent than they were when we started. There are the support vehicles from the front. Sven's car deserves to look like that. And again, from the rear, and that is going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Overflod Suzume? Suzume? That almost sounds, anyway. Hey, baby, you want to come over and Suzume? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's like 11:30 at night, and I'm running a little sleep. So yeah, all-wheel drive, electric supercar that, I'm going to be honest, that when we were testing the Cheetah Classic, and I knew that this car was coming next, I could not, in my mind, picture what this car looked like. I had some recollection that maybe I had painted it red. I wasn't sure about that, though, and it turned out I had. But I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what livery, what options, nothing. This has just been, I don't know, I kind of forgot it existed until today when we tested it for Wheel It Off-Road. And having driven it, I'll probably wind up forgetting it exists again. And it makes me sad because it's an Overflod, because my all-time favorite car in the game is an Overflod. To this day, the Entity XF is my favorite car in GTA. It's a nostalgic thing for me. I know there's better cars and better looking cars, but it it holds a very special place in my heart. So to have other Overflods not really do it for me is quite the problem. But at least Hobo got to experience the joy that is the XF. Sven, however, is in the Entity MT, I think. And yeah, so he just listened to it going up the mountain the whole way. This was just a quiet run. The only thing that's weird about it is it just seems to have a really high off-road traction loss value. I could look it up real quick and see what it is. But whatever it is, I'm not going to believe it because it just feels... I don't know, like, if you let off the throttle just a little bit, the thing just wants to insta-stop. Like, it has really hard or really strong. It does have a higher than 1.25. Though, Murphy also says race class cannot be raced. Suzume can't be raced? I don't... He also has it not yet released. Has it not come out yet for everybody else? Is it only GTA Plus members that can still get this? I thought this was out for everybody else. But 1.25. So I was right. This thing does have a higher than just a 1 off-road traction loss, which is why it's definitely slowing down even more in the dirt. I've never really driven it that much to know how it behaves on pavement. So, you know, anyway. We're up, taking out 2 hikers in 2 minutes, 31 seconds. So, will it off-road? I mean, yeah, that's a good time. I hit her, and there she goes running. Except, never mind. That scream she let out was great. But yeah, 2:31, fantastic time for any car, really. You know, granted, we have some that have gotten up into... we've had one break the 2-minute barrier. We have some in the 2 teens. And then they start hitting 220s, and 230s don't start until the 33rd car. Speaking of, that makes out of 485, that makes the Suzume 41st. No, it's that count. That doesn't sound right. No, it is right. 41st. It is 0.05, so 0.05 of a second slower than a Vapid trophy truck. Weird. And 0.233 seconds faster than the... I really thought I was going to go off there. Then the Declasse Walton L35. A lot of times, L35 stock, I should say. There were a lot of times I really thought that this car was going to go over a ledge. But because of its crap off-road traction loss and its really good brakes, I always managed to get it stopped in time. Going down the mountain was far easier than going up with this thing. Or at least more enjoyable and exciting. I'll put it that way. Out of the 52 supercars that we have tested, the Suzume is 6th. See, like there, that any other car I would have just kept going and flown off the side there. It is 0.67 seconds slower than the Overflod Pipistrello. Another car, I can't really remember what it looks like. And it is 3 3/35 of a second faster than the Pegassi Ignis. And hey, look, I can go make money off of another car that somebody's dropped off at my auto shop. Yay. For money fronts, out of the 8 that we have tested, it is exactly 3 seconds slower than the Karin Everon RS. We're going to hit the tree of mini crashes. And then it is the same split to the Walton L35 stock. And I mentioned that tree of mini crashers because you can play Will It Off-Road Bingo with a link into the description down below. Just click on generate a new card and then click on things that happen if they're on your card. And if you get bingo, let us know. And out of 249 videos, you will have been our 6th ever winner. We're down 2 minutes, 17 seconds. So we're going to go back to the top of Mount Chiliad, where, as always, for very, very scientific purposes, we fling the car off the side of the mountain to conduct very controlled, very rigorous, very demanding structural integrity tests. That is what this is, and safety testing. This is not for fun. It's not for the giggles of watching parts fly off of cars or listening to them go crunch and occasionally go boom. No. It is for science. It is for safety. It is for furthering automotive technology. That is what we're doing here when we fling cars off the side of the mountain in Will It Off-Road. Yeah, okay, fine. It's also a lot of fun. But, yeah, we're definitely staying in a pretty close pack in this one, it seems like. All the cars wanting to be upside down until I finally got a little all-wheel drive boost over that jump and managed to clear a lot of air. And then I stay in the air for quite some time. And also this car wound up in some really weird spots that we don't normally see during the damage descent portion of Overflod Off-Road. Like, I've never been up on that hill, I don't think. And when I first landed, I was in reverse and managed to drive off with a lot of speed in reverse and go all the way across the valley to the other hillside. It was bizarre. It does not, however, want to go straight in the bumpy, muddy bit. It just is very unhappy down here, and I probably would be too if I were a supercar. But every little thing just sends it airborne, which you would think, being an electric car, it'd probably be a chunker, tipping the scales. Like 6,000 pounds or something, but no, it's doing fine. And by the way, if you think the video looks a little bit washed out, that's because we did record a little bit late into the evening, especially Commander Hobo's on the top left. We did record a little bit late into the evening, so I kind of had to brighten the picture just a little bit so you could still see what was happening. But we're down in 148. The damage, all the windows are gone. Most of the lights are missing. The engine and front covers, once again, are gone, though only partially, I guess, on the engine cover. The active aero spoiler's busted and will not open anymore. It has bent wheels and very slight body damage very towards the front of the clip. There's our sport vehicles from the front and from the rear. Do not forget, Sunday, August 17th, 1 p.m. Central Time, I want you to join us for the 250th Wheel It Off-Road video recording. I want a huge turnout, so please help make that dream come true for me. And I want to say thank you for watching today. I know there are hundreds of things you could have done with your time this afternoon or morning or evening, and you chose to hang out with us, and I appreciate that. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.